grab a drink, light a candle, and let's bitch. All right. Hi, Brandy.
Hi, guys. Hi, Bryceland. How are you?
I'm good. What do we got today?
We're going to do some, I would like to say funny history, but not all of these are funny.
Okay.
But weird and strange history. But some of them are kind of funny, but not all of them.
Okay.
But before we get into our topic.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone from YouTube.
Hi.
It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for listening.
We saw how many views we got on our most recently released episode. And what is that green drink you're drinking? It looks so nice.
It is not nice. It's Kool-Aid.
Oh, well, it looks nice.
So, funny story. At Brandy's bridal shower, because she had kids there, because she has nephews and, all that. Uh-huh. She had blue Hawaiian punch. And everybody at our table, while you were opening gifts, was like, I don't want regular tea. I want the blue Hawaiian punch. So our entire table drank all of the blue Hawaiian punch. So kids, I'm sorry, but we drank it all.
That's so funny. I didn't know that at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. But anyway, hi, everyone from YouTube. It's really nice to meet you. Also, we want to give a shout out to our friend Amy. Amy and I have been friends for a long time, and she keeps sending me messages, and she's like, oh my God, it's so nice to be able to hear your voice all the time. And I'm like, this is so nice. And she sent me a message and she was like, Brandy. And I got scared. I'm like, oh no, what's wrong? And she's like, I need to know when the next episode releases because I've been hooked and I need to know when it comes out.
That's funny.
It was the episode that we recorded where I said the best day of my life. And it was my manager's work story. If you haven't listened to episode 2, you should go listen to episode 2 to listen to that story.
Yes.
But she was like, it is now also the best day of my life by association. And I was like, you're so sweet. So hi, Amy.
Aww.
Thank you for listening.
Okay. Do you want to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
I didn't write down individual sources for each of these. I just kind of put the sources at the top. So I will post them in the comments, but if you want to go back and read, I can't guarantee these are in order because I don't know which ones were from which website, but they are from a mix of boardpanda.com and historyfacts.com. They're all both the articles said funny. Not all of these are funny. I think they're just strange. Some of them are actually really sad, but come off kind of as funny. The first one I think is kind of funny. Potatoes were not very popular as a food in France. They were seen as fit for only animals. A pharmacist named Parmentier knew that they were a good food and wanted to popularize them among the working class. He got a 2-acre farm to grow potatoes and placed armed guards around it. People assumed the armed guards meant something very valuable was growing there, so they began to steal the potatoes. That's how potatoes became popular in France.
That's funny.
That is funny.
I want to make it so that way people will eat potatoes. I'm going to have them steal them. He knew his audience.
So funny. Yeah, he's like, let's just put guards in front of it. And people are going to want them then. It's extra funny because I went to culinary school and I've studied French cooking. And it's extra funny because potatoes are one of the basic things in cooking. There's so many different ways to prepare potatoes. So that's really funny.
When Belgium broke the record of days without a government, they celebrated, had a beer, and carried on with their lives. No chaos, no disruption, or rioting.
Honestly, I think we would do the same.
I would hope.
Yeah.
I would hope we would do the same.
I definitely don't want chaos or riots. I think that's pretty fun. So this one is called the Kettle War. It was on the 8th of October in 1784. The Dutch Kingdom and then Holy Roman Empire had a short naval battle. And the only casualty was a kettle full of soup that got hit by a cannonball. And that was the only shot that was fired.
That poor soup.
I know.
Poor soup.
Did you ever study French? The language?
I did French. When you're in middle school, they have you try French, German, and Spanish. And then when you get to high school, which for us, it was 9th grade, you get to choose if you want to continue with a language. So I did 3 years of French after I got to high school. I have some knowledge. I'm season 1 of Emily in Paris when it comes to French. I could do a couple things and I honestly can read it better than I could speak it.
I can also read it better than I can speak it. I can read it very well, I think. I can read it enough to get by, but I can't speak it all.
Yeah, I am nowhere near as skilled as I was in high school, but honestly, in high school, it went in one ear and out the other.
I remember the silly words. And one of the silly words was the word for suspicious. Do you know the word for suspicious?
No.
It's soup canoe.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's
and
funny.
I think it's really funny that a kettle full of soup, like on a boat, got hit off. And I'm just like, a soup canoe.
I feel really bad for the person who probably prepared that soup all day long. And was
They
like,
probably,
he
they
was probably
wasted,
like,
their...
he was so excited. He's waiting all day to eat that soup. And then it got hit by a cannonball.
Speaking of, did you see my Snapchat?
I didn't get a chance to, no.
Okay, I made a chicken for dinner. Like a whole chicken.
Okay.
Because I got off of work at like, I don't know. I got off of work kind of early. And I had this chicken thought out. And then I wasn't feeling well. So I didn't end up making it. Where today I was like, I think I need to make this chicken like before it goes bad. Because Anthony's not going to be here for dinner tomorrow. And then by Friday, I was like, I'm not going to want to do it on a Friday when I get home from work. It's just probably not happening. I'm not going to want to come home from work and cook a chicken. And also, guys, sorry, I'm kind of sick if you hear me sniffling or my voice sounds funny. So I got home and I took the chicken out and I dried it off and I made like garlic and shallots and herbs and butter and I coated this chicken and I cooked it in, I have like an air fryer that's also like a convection oven sort of thing. And it's nice because it cooks like an oven, but you don't have to preheat it really.
Right.
And I put it in there and I had a temperature probe in it. And I swear to God, it was stuck 5 degrees below what it was supposed to be for like a half an hour. I was just sitting and staring at this chicken. And I'm like, when are you going to be cooked? When are you going to be cooked? My house smelled so good. It smelled like roast chicken. And Anthony laughed. He was like, it's kind of like Thanksgiving, but you know, at the complete opposite end of the year. I'm like, it is. But instead it's like chicken instead of turkey. We don't have stuffing. We don't have green beans. We have broccoli instead. We did have mashed potatoes, so that's the same. But yeah, I like stared at my oven and it was just sitting there. Just 5 more degrees. All I need is 5 more degrees.
Because it's storming down here, thunderstorming, like so bad rain. And I told Mike, I was like, I'm going to make chili for dinner because it sounds good.
That sounds good.
So I started to make chili and Mike came over and he's like, you need more water in that pot. So he overwatered my pot to where it didn't make it chili. It made it like a soup. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So he was like, well, I'll add.
Sorry.
He's like, let's add some elbow noodles to it to see if it'll just it'll help. And I'm like, okay. It didn't taste bad. Everything still tasted great, but it was definitely not chili. So I'm like, okay.
When you make your chili, do you make it tomatoey? Do you put like tomato sauce in it?
I do a tomato paste in it. Like I put tomato paste in it, but I like to make mine with like a lot more. Like I do like a 3-bean. Extra cheese like chili.
Okay, because I don't think I ever learned in school how to make chili, but the way my mom made chili was it's very like tomato sauce based. So that's how like when I make chili for us, I make it. And Anthony was like, why is there so much tomato in here? I thought there was supposed to be tomato in chili. I didn't know that was a weird thing. So
I mean, it's not weird, but it's definitely not what I'm used to.
That's what he said. He's like, I've just never had chili like this. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that chili's not supposed to be like this. So I think someday I'm going to have to make chili as like an actual soup, like a thick soup versus like meat with tomato sauce. Because that's how I make it, is meat, tomato sauce, and beans.
Yep. Okay. In the 1800s, Rough and Ready, California voted to secede from the United States. It was short-lived as they voted to rejoin the Union because they wanted to celebrate the 4th of July, and the nearby city refused to sell alcohol to foreigners.
That's hilarious.
That's pretty good.
Where did they join? You know?
I mean, that's pretty good. I want a drink. They won't sell me. Like, we'll go with it.
Imagine wanting to celebrate the 4th of July and they're just like, no, you can't. You're not part of us anymore.
Yeah. You can't sit with us.
You can't sit with us. You don't even go here. That episode of Emily in Paris where they're at the embassy for the 4th of July and they have hot dogs. I want to know if that's an actual thing. Do you think they actually do that at embassies in foreign countries? Because that would be so cool.
I would hope that they would. I mean, you got to figure if you're out there, you don't have the normalcy of what you're used to here.
Yeah. I've never been to an embassy, though. Is it just like a government building?
I would imagine. I've never been to one, but I would imagine it's kind of like going into like a courthouse.
Okay. See, I wonder if they do fun things like that. You know?
Well, if anybody knows the answer, you should tell us below.
If you know the answer, put it in the comments. Have you ever been to an embassy? And what's it like? But anyway, the Emu Wars. This one is kind of sad.
Okay.
But it's written kind of funnily here, but it's not funny here, I guess.
Okay.
But it is like a sad story if you actually look into it. But in 1932, a drought in Australia caused some 20,000 emus to move inland, disrupting the farmers' crops. The government sent in World War I veterans to assist the farmers, and though they were outfitted with machine guns, they soon found themselves overwhelmed by their flightless foes. The birds emerged victorious in what's now known as the Great Emu War, and they still thrive down under.
I mean, you're right. There are parts of that is sad, but the fact that they won makes me very happy. Like if I was there, I 100% would be on the sidelines with like a sign and shouting like "Go Emus."
Yeah. I'd
be feeding them in between rounds.
Imagine you're standing in like Australia. I don't even know what the landscape's like there because I've never been there. And all you can see is emus, giant birds. That's all you can see is giant birds. I imagine they're chasing after you. Well, it has to be terrifying, you know? But I am glad that the birds won. I get that they're destroying the farmers' crops, but also it's really sad. Like they didn't know they were doing anything wrong. They just were trying to find some water.
So during the Salem trials, a farmer sued a snail because it was loitering on his land. On Sunday, when the snail did not show up, it was marked as absent and guilty.
And this just proves that it was the men's fault that the Salem witch trials even happened.
Yes.
If they thought that they can sue a snail, I'm sorry. You can't tell me the witches told him to do that. You can't tell me that snail was a witch. It was a snail. It was just strolling along.
I think that's funny. I think it's called Salem. I'm not sure, but there's a show. It's no longer on, but it was like a drama, and it was about the witch trials. And this one woman was the main character. She was obviously a witch, and she, like, you would think halfway through the show that she's like a good witch and she's not bad, and you know she's trying to help people, but then you find out she sold her newborn, and it gets really like dramatic. Ooh. But it's such a good show. It's one of those ones where they cancel after like 2 seasons.
Oh, I hate that.
You just wonder like, why did we cancel this? But we have other shows on TV that are like in season 19 and nobody could care about it. Let me see if I can look
There used to be this show on ABC Family, and I think it was called Socio. Was it called Socio? But it had Avin Jogia, or however you say his name. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think so. I think I've seen it. So it is called Salem. There were 3 seasons, and the main character is Janet Montgomery, who plays Mary Sibley. And what I really like is the fact that like the main guy who plays John Alden is Shane West, and he's from A Walk to Remember with Mandy Moore.
Ooh.
Yeah. So like, there's quite a bit of big names in it that like back in 2014 when this was going on, you're like, okay, this was a big name, but you know, it wasn't that big back then. So it's definitely got some big names in here, like Sammy Henratty is on there, Jeremy Summers, Elise Erbley is on there, Ashley Madekwe.
I don't know who that is, but I like her name.
Ashley Madekwe plays Tituba, and then Seth Gable plays Cotton Mather, which is like the priest or whatever. But it's a really good show if you get a chance to watch it. I know it's only 3 seasons, but
the show I was talking about was called Twisted, and it was on ABC Family. And it was this guy who... Did you watch it?
I did. It was a good show.
It was so good, and it never came back for season 2. They canceled it after season 1, and it was so good, and I remember being so excited for it to come back out, and it never came back out. For the next one, Andrew Jackson taught his parrot how to swear, and it had to be removed from his funeral because it upset the attendees. And I think that's hilarious.
That is pretty good. In the 1950s, 2 guys ended up controlling 98% of the onion market in the United States, which was done by convincing the farmers that grew them to sell to them otherwise. They would flood the market with onions. A little bit later, they flooded the market with onions to the point where a 50-pound bag of onions went for 10 cents, which was less than the bag containing them. These guys ended up making millions off of this, and because of them, trading onion futures in the U.S. is now banned.
That's so funny.
Someone needs to do
sell
that with,
to me,
like, or I'm
insurance.
going to ruin the market. Sells to you, ruins the market.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny.
That's pretty good.
The first woman in space, Valentina. Oh boy, guys, I don't know how to say this name. I assume she's Russian or of a near Russian speaking country. The first woman in space, Valentina Tereshkova, went without a toothbrush during her first 3 days aboard the Vostok 6 spacecraft in 1963. To be fair, it wasn't her fault. Mission Control was actually in charge of packing the essentials, as the pioneering what the fuck is that word?
Cosmonaut.
Cosmonaut? Is that a real word?
I guess.
Had other presumably more scientific things to focus on. All right, I might not even put this in. I'm going to rephrase this because it doesn't make sense. So the first woman in space, Valentina Krestova, went without a toothbrush during her 3 days abroad in space because the person who was supposed to pack it forgot because they had other things to do. And that's pretty funny. And I think that reads better than whatever the fuck was said because I don't know how to say half of those words.
You did good.
I'm not even drinking in this episode.
In 1936, John Steinbeck, already a successful author, was knee-deep in what eventually became Of Mice and Men. Then a minor tragedy stalked, Steinbeck wrote. My setter pup Toby, left alone one night, made confetti of about half of my MS, which is his manuscript book. 2 months' work to do over again. There was no other draft. Fortunately, Toby's drastic edicts proved but a temporary obstacle in the classic novel's path to completion. I love my dogs, but on a daily basis, I get very frustrated with them right now. And if my dog did that, I'd be like, you are not getting cookies for a very long time.
No cookies. Oh, that sucks. I don't have a dog, but my cats are okay. They don't eat a lot, except sometimes Bandit will eat plastic. He will find plastic anywhere, and he will eat it. And it upsets his stomach, and then he throws it up, or he shits it out. And it's not fun when you have to take him to the vet because you're like, hey, there's something wrong with my cat. And then they yell at you. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I do work. I have jobs. I cannot watch my cat 24/7. However, I do feed him real food. I don't understand why he eats plastic. We had this conversation today, like literally an hour ago. We're like, why do you eat plastic? So French waiters once went on strike for the right to grow mustaches. In 1907, one of the more unusual strikes in France's history unfolded. Better wages and working conditions were at stake, but so was something unexpected: the right to grow a mustache. The facial hair was at its peak popularity, but servers were forced to be clean-shaven. After 16 days, the waiters returned to work. They did not get their desired 1 day off per week, but fairer pay structure was in place, as were their mustaches.
I'm very happy that they got to keep their mustache.
I am too. I wish they would have also got their 1 day off per week, but I am happy that they compromised with a mustache. I mean, to each their own.
True. And they were just on strike for 16 days.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
LOL used to be an acronym for little old lady.
Aw.
So long before anyone laughed out loud on the internet, LOL was in use by virtue of a different phrase, little old lady. The acronym was popularized in the 1960s by San Francisco Chronicle columnist Herb Caen, who used it in many of his works. In his 1960 book, Only in San Francisco, for instance, he described an outfit that included a tricorn hat topped with a bird as the regalia of the authentic LOL. That's really cute.
That is cute. I like that
really
one.
Cute.
Thomas Jefferson and John Adams stole a piece of Shakespeare's chair. In 1786, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams took a week-long tour of England, and one of their first stops was at the house where Shakespeare was born in Stratford-upon-Avon. Among the many relics at the house was the bard's own chair, where the poet and playwright supposedly sat and wrote his great works. When the founding fathers left, they sliced off a piece of the chair to take home as a souvenir.
That is so not okay.
But it's so funny. I don't know a lot about history or about Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, but what I do know about Thomas Jefferson and John Adams is from Hamilton. And all I can see is like the person, is it Daveed Diggs who plays Thomas Jefferson?
Just walking out with like a chair leg.
And him just having like a piece of a chair in his hands. I think that would be so funny.
Michelangelo's David was censored by Queen Victoria. When Queen Victoria was gifted a replica of Michelangelo's David by the Grand Duke of Tuscany in 1857, she was reportedly left aghast by the statue's blatant nudity. So museum curators crafted a plaster fig leaf to obscure the offensive organ. This leaf was attached with the help of strategically placed hooks that allowed it to be lowered in place in anticipation of any visits from certain members of the royal family.
Wait. So what you're saying is it wasn't there all the time.
Yes.
It was only there when important people were there.
Yes.
But she kept it off.
Yes.
When she was home alone. That's funny. That's really funny.
She was left aghast, but she didn't correct it permanently. She only had strategically placed hooks in case certain members of the royal family were there.
That's so funny.
That's really
hilarious.
funny.
Imagine getting a replica of like Michelangelo's art and being like, nah, we got to put a fig leaf on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
A con artist sold the Eiffel Tower for scrap metal not once, but twice. Victor Lustig is among one of the most skilled con artists in history. The notorious scammer even went so far as to convince someone to buy the Eiffel Tower, not once, but on 2 separate occasions. He assumed the identity of a government official and told several scrap metal dealers that the Eiffel Tower was too expensive to repair and would instead be sold for scrap to the highest bidder.
I don't understand, A, how anybody would actually believe that, or B, that he did it twice.
Twice. It's not, if I had, what's that saying? If I had a nickel, and 2 nickels isn't a lot, but I would have 2, what's that saying?
I think I think what you're trying to say is like, is it the fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice?
Yeah, but there's like that is what I'm saying. But there's like a trend on TikTok where it's like, if this happened, if I had a nickel for every time this happened, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's funny that it happened twice.
Yes. Europeans feared tomatoes for centuries, believing they were poisonous. There's a reason why the humble tomato used to be known by the far more sinister moniker of poison apple. Europeans feared tomatoes for centuries and believed they were poisonous. As recently as the 18th century, it was thought that aristocrats were falling ill and even dying after eating tomatoes. A misconception stemming from the use of pewter plate tomatoes were served on, which contain high lead content.
That's what they get for being rich.
You weren't dying from the tomatoes, you were dying from the china.
Yeah. If you would just eat the tomatoes with your hands like the rest of us. Have you ever eaten a tomato like an apple?
I don't eat it like an apple, but I do really like I'll slice it up and I'll put salt and pepper on it. Such a good lunch.
It is good that way. It's better that way, but I'm putting a garden in, by the way.
Ooh.
I'm really excited about it. I mapped it all out yesterday, but I like to plant cherry tomatoes and just go out to the garden and like pick cherry tomatoes off and eat them. It's like my favorite thing in summer. I like the golden ones the best too. They're really good.
Do not have a green thumb. Like flowers, plants,
I'm
food.
trying to have a green
I
thumb.
cannot. It will not last. It will die. It will die quickly. And you will be amazed in the ways that it dies and it does not come back. So I definitely am not someone who can have a garden. Like Mike will get me flowers for like a special occasion. I'm lucky if they last a week.
Aw.
Yep.
Well, I would love to say we can try to work on it, but my brother has given me the same plant because he has one that looks beautiful and he always has like little children growing off of it. And every time I see him, I'm like, hey, my spider plant died again. Can I have a new one? He gave me one last year for my birthday. I killed it this year. And then he gave me another one for my birthday this year. So now I have one. And it's in my kitchen. So hopefully it does better. I think maybe it's too cold in this room. I think it's warmer out there, so I'm trying it out there. So we'll see what happens. In 1913, the United States Post Office began offering parcel services, and Americans started shipping pretty much anything they could think of, including their children.
What?
The first recorded baby delivered via parcel post was James Beagle, an 8-month-old resident of Glen East, Ohio. I think that's how you say that, Glen East, Ohio. He was delivered to his grandmother just a few miles away. The postage cost 15 cents, and his parents insured him for $50.
Okay, first off, how did you package him? How did he survive? I get 1913, it only cost 15 cents, and you insured him for $50. But drive down the street and hand him to your mother-in-law. Why are you shipping a child?
I don't think they had cars then.
Okay, walk. Ride a horse.
Yeah, walk.
Push him in a wheelbarrow. I don't care.
I imagine he probably wasn't packaged at all. I imagine he was like
handed in
like a basket or like just handed over.
That's terrifying. You should not be a parent.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
And you gave it to a stranger to deliver to your grandma, to its grandma's house.
Yeah,
you know,
not
to either
okay.
your parent or your in-laws. Yeah.
Not
Meet
okay.
grandma halfway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Among all the founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin had the most interesting extracurricular activities, including writing essays for his brother's Boston newspaper under the pseudonym Silence Dogood. The 16-year-old Franklin posed as a widow because the writing he submitted under his own name was rejected by the paper. Silence had much to say about a variety of subjects, and she was an instant hit with readers. She even received marriage proposals. I
cute.
did know this fact.
I did know this only because
of National Treasure It's actually really weird. I don't know how it started, but National Treasure 1 and 2 are my comfort movies. Like every time I'm sick,
Yeah.
Mike knows I'm sick because I'm watching National Treasure.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
It's so weird. I don't know why. I could go without watching it the entire year, but if I am sick, I am putting on National Treasure. It just hits the spot.
Yeah, that works. It's such a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think about that movie all the time, like way more than I should. I haven't watched it in a long time, but there are little parts of it that like pop in my brain sometimes.
Well, I really like, so I like that it's a drama, but it's got like actual facts in it. So
yes,
like, there's another Fool's Gold that has Kate Hudson in it and Matthew McConaughey.
I've never seen that.
Oh my God. It's such a good movie. It's older. It's like 2008. But Matthew McConaughey plays, Finn, who's a treasure hunter, and he sunk his marriage, which was to Kate Hudson, and his trusty boat, and his obsessive quest to find the legendary Queen's dowry. And then like they go through all this history of like how like it's actually a story, it's actually a thing. But Kevin Hart, it's really funny because Kevin Hart was not, I don't think, a big actor back then, maybe, but he plays the villain, and it's just really funny to watch him try to be a villain.
Yeah.
But they end up going, like, they're searching in the water. They're trying to find, all this treasure, all the Queen's dowry, and, they're trying to figure out the legend and everything. And then they end up falling back in love. And so it is a drama, but it's got like actual history in it because the Queen's dowry is a thing. But see, I really like movies that are like that.
I've been really into, you guys are going to know this because all of these episodes are like history related, but I've been really into history lately. I think it started with 6 and like learning about the ex-wives of King Henry VIII. And then it moved into like Hamilton and learning about that part of US history that I didn't even know a lot of it. And now I'm watching The Crown and I'm really into that. Like I'm so into history right now, especially if you can like make it fun for me. Like I'm really into it. Yeah. And I've never been into history before. Like I'd never liked history in school. I was never into it. And now I'm like, hey, these things are kind of cool.
I had like certain topics that I really liked. And then there were other ones that I was like, I have no interest in this at all. But just like you were, like we had done on our last episode where you had talked about a book and it was like she was an actual spy. If they had brought that up in history class, I'm pretty sure I would have paid attention more.
Yeah, I would have paid attention a little more if they did something where like it could be interesting. There is a girl who went to my high school. I have not talked to her since I graduated, if not even before then, because I can't even tell you the last time I talked to her. But she's a history teacher now. I follow her on Facebook, and some of the things she put on, it actually seems like she's a good teacher. She's getting her kids like engaged in the content she's trying to teach them. She seems like such a good teacher that she's putting like fun things into her lesson, where I feel like a lot of times I was given like a book and it was like, here, read this. And then,
I had good teachers in high school. Some obviously cared more than others, but my English teacher, she was amazing. She is amazing. Like had her and like other people in the family had her. She makes it fun. So I don't know if you've ever anytime we did Romeo and Juliet, there is a video on YouTube of this cast and crew who do Juliet. It's meant to be funny. It's meant to be a comedy. And it's just the way that they do it, it's 2 men and they play every single role in this. And it's like sped up.
That's funny.
And she showed it. She's like, we're going to learn about Romeo and Juliet, but you need to understand, like, before you try to read the old English version of it, like, let me explain the story to you so you will understand what you're reading. So she actually played.
I think I would have needed that in 9th grade. Yeah, when I had to read Romeo and Juliet because I didn't know what was happening. Right.
So she actually played the video for us so we could watch it. And it's like the entirety of the show in like a 15-minute clip. And it's so funny. And I still like to this day, I'm like, oh, I really want to watch that again. I'm going to pull it up because it's on YouTube. The fact that she went that far, she's like, we're still in the curriculum. We're going to make it fun. You're going to understand it. And like, she always was in charge of like the musicals at the school. So anytime we would do something in class, she always came at it with a really silly accent. So the entirety of her class, she's like, all right, we're going to do this in like a Scottish accent. She'd rip off a Scottish accent the entire class. So it was always really funny. Cool. All right, where are we at?
So the next following ones are from BuzzFeed Weird and Interesting Facts. So in the 1960s, the CIA launched Operation Acoustic Kitty in effort to train cats to become foreign spies by implanting microphones in their ears and radio transmitters at the base of their skulls. The hope was to train the cats to sit near foreign officials to capture any private conversations. The operation came to a halt when they realized the cats aren't really trainable and they will do whatever the heck they want. That's hilarious.
I feel
I
kind of
love
bad
that.
because in my head, I'm like, that was it hurting the cats? But then in my other side of my head, I'm like, they're
No,
probably
I don't think
thinking
so.
that they're going to go and sit like next to mafia people. But meanwhile, they're just kind of like licking themselves at the corner store.
Yeah, that's all they're doing. They're going hunting and they're catching a fish and they're chasing a squirrel through the woods.
Yep,
You
that's
know,
it.
they
That's all
didn't
you
go
get.
sit by anyone. They don't like people.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
In ancient Rome, they used human and animal urine as laundry detergent.
That's disgusting.
Yep. But I mean, it makes sense. Think about it. Nothing's white. Everything's always a little yellow.
No, that makes it worse. I don't want to think about that. That
It
makes
was
it
ancient
worse.
Rome. It's okay.
Did that ever come up in plebs?
I don't know. I wonder if it did.
I haven't watched it in so long. I want to rewatch it though.
We
We
should-
started watching Fallout.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it?
I have not.
It's based on the video game. It's good, but man, is it gory. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really interested in the storyline, but it is so gory. And I'm like, I don't know if I can. I don't know. We watched the first episode and I was like, this is rough. And like, he a lot of times is like, why do you watch things like this? And I'm like, this is a lot worse than some of the other things I watch, but it's so interesting and I love the storyline. So I want to keep watching it, but
You let me know what you think of it. And if I'm interested, I'll watch it. But we definitely should rewatch Plebs. It's such a good show.
we should. Oh, we need to rewatch it. Germany has more castles than there are McDonald's in the USA. Germany is estimated to have 25,000 castles, and there are around 13,000 McDonald's locations in America.
I mean, I'd rather have a castle.
I'd rather have a castle. I think we should take a Bitching Babes trip and see the castles in Germany. That
Yes,
would be
we should.
fun.
Yes, we should.
Germany has some good food. And it's better. I wonder how many McDonald's they have in Germany. If you're in Germany, can you comment? That would be so cool. Also, do you guys have McDonald's there and do you like them?
Have you seen
Because
there was
McDonald's are different everywhere.
That's what I was just going to say. There was like a segment on the Food Channel Network one day where it was talking about the different like fast food chains in and around the world. And there's like, if you go to, let's say, McDonald's in Japan, they might like have
Oh,
sushi.
they're so good.
You're not getting sushi here, but they might have sushi there. So like
Yeah.
it depends on where you go.
When we were in Japan, we went to McDonald's mostly for breakfast because nothing opens there until late. In like, you know, we're 12 hours off. So we would go there for breakfast because we would get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. McDonald's was the only thing that was open. And they had this like dessert sort of breakfast pie thing. And it was like maple, it was like banana maple or maple caramel. I don't remember what it was, but it was so good. And we went the first day and we got that. And I got like a McChicken because I was so like dehydrated from the flight and like sick from the flight where I was like, I just need chicken. And I got a McChicken and he got that. And I was like, wow, this is delicious. And we went back every day to get one of those. They were so good. They were so good.
The next season of Exo Kitty is coming on Netflix.
The next season of what?
Exo Kitty.
I don't know what that is.
What? So
I don't know what that is.
I thought you did. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna pull this up so that way it's easier for me to explain. Kitty's the youngest of the Covey sisters and embarks on a quest to find her true love, where she's actually going to Seoul so that way she's like doing an away program for school. But her mom went to
Oh.
Seoul, so she's like learning all about it. But who was it that wrote it? She wrote all of the books. Jenny Han is the
It's
is the
based on a book?
creator. Yeah, it's based on books. It started with the sister. This is like a spin-off basically because To All the Boys I Loved Before. So Lara Jean. So
That
it started
sounds
with
familiar.
that. So To All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You. Jenny Han is the
Okay.
author. So she actually wrote the series and Kitty is Lara Jean's youngest sister. So we really didn't get much of a story with Margot, which is the eldest sister. And I kind of hope we get at least one movie spinoff of that because that would be
Ooh.
nice. But they do such a good job. I really enjoyed the books and I really enjoyed the series for To All the Boys I Loved. But I was really excited when Anna Cathcart got the Kitty role and they made her own adaptation. just because it explains so much more, because you don't really get to hear a lot about Kitty in the books. But she goes to Seoul, and she talks all the time about like the food there. And it's one of those things where like,
oh, it has to be so good.
Movies and books and video games and cartoons, man, I see food and I'm like, why does this look so good? And the food that we have like just not, it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
Like it's not real food. It can't be.
Food there. Anthony and I were talking today too about when we were in Austin, because every day after we eat dinner, I'm like, how does this rate? And he always asked, rate out of what? And it's always 5 stars. I'm like, how many stars out of 5 stars? And I made that chicken today. And he's like, well, what is 5 stars? Like, is 5 stars a Thanksgiving turkey? Well, yeah, but on chicken, when we were in Austin, we had KFC Korean fried chicken from this Korean restaurant, and it was the best chicken I have ever had in my life. It was so good. And the only way I'm going to get it again is if I go back there. I've already established that. That's 5 stars. And it was just like, it was so good. But I'm like, I just want to go places to eat. Mm-hmm. Food is just so good, you know?
Eat around the world.
Oh, I would love to.
In Washington state, there's a real life law stating it's illegal to kill Bigfoot and other Sasquatch-like creatures.
Good, because they're probably endangered. We shouldn't be killing them. We want to see them.
Exactly.
If I get the chance to see Bigfoot, I am taking that chance. That's all I'm saying.
I think of all of the weird creatures, like different creatures that I'd want to see the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be a cool one.
I want to see fairies, as creepy as like sometimes
no, that's not creepy. I would love to see fairies. I know they're real. They have to be.
They have to be. We'll do an episode on fairies. That sounds pretty fun.
We should.
If you came across a mythical creature, or is that even considered a mythical creature?
Yeah, I'd say that.
What we would consider that? Mm-hmm. Okay. What creature would you like to come across? Would you leave it in the comments below? And while you leave it in the comments below, please like, rate, subscribe, tell all of your friends. Thank you so very much. Mm-hmm. And thanks for being here. Thanks for coming in. So anyway, sloths are slow in everything that they do, including digestion. Because they digest food so slowly, they basically have to breathe out their farts because they can't actually fart. So they burp?
Yeah, they burp, but it's like
they can only burp.
So like really bad breath.
Oh, so it's stinky. Oh, terrible.
I feel kind of bad for sloths.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yep. There are caves in Missouri that store 1.4 billion pounds of government-owned cheese. Located deep in the Ozark Mountains in limestone converted mines, the caves are kept at a perfect 36 degrees.
That makes me want to eat cheese even less. That's disgusting. I don't like that. That's not for me.
You don't want some cave cheese?
I don't want any cheese to begin with, especially if it's from a cave. That's not for me.
Nope.
In a limestone mine? But is that safe? I mean, it has to be. Or what are we doing with the cheese?
I don't know.
Are we selling it?
It's government-owned cheese.
Is it only for use of the government?
I don't know. Is it like military cheese?
Oh, maybe it's, maybe.
But still.
Maybe it's for like, do we still give like rations to military people?
Well, yeah, but
maybe I
wouldn't want Ozark Mountain limestone mine cheese.
I don't want any cheese. That's why I'm not in the military. Cornflakes were originally invented in 1894 by John Harvey Kellogg to suppress sexual impulses and desires. You try saying that 10 times fast. That was rough.
When I looked this up, so John Harvey Kellogg and his church thought that... Yes. And his church thought that sex and masturbation was not right. So they figured something like cornflakes, which had no flavor and was very bland, would suppress all of those desires. And instantly I thought, why are we serving cornflakes in all the retirement homes across the world?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, if you got it, work it. Good for you. But I don't think cornflakes for breakfast is going to suppress a boner.
Who tested this? Did the church test it out?
No, they just, that's his patent. That's why he invented it.
That's so weird. That's so strange. That is a weird and funny history one. That one's funny.
Despite being only 4 inches long, the mantis shrimp throws the fastest punch in the world. The definition of small but mighty, enough to break through their glass tanks.
Wow, they're like strong.
Yes.
I saw this video of a 8-year-old. They deadlifted 150 pounds.
Jeez.
And they only weighed 80 pounds themselves or something like that. Like, it was almost double, if not double. It might have been, I think it was 180 pounds because it was over double their body weight.
That's a lot.
And that's what reminded me. Yeah. It was,
Ooh.
I watched a video of it and I was like, wow, that is so impressive.
That's a lot. Good for them.
I don't mean to go to a deep, dark place. Imagine someone tried to kidnap them and they just beat the shit out of them.
Right?
Because they could like deadlift them and throw them.
I mean, I honestly, if my child did that, would not be afraid if they were like at a playground. I'd be like, go ahead, mess with them, see what happens.
Go ahead. Twice a month, the Cincinnati/Northern Kentucky. I don't know why I said it that way. Twice a month, the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport brings a miniature horse to help calm the nerves of people with flying anxiety. That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little scared of horses.
What? Really?
But mini horses are fine. Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just because they're so big that they kind of scare me.
Well, these are miniatures.
I know. I think they would be okay. My cousins always had horses growing up, and they like do horse things for a living now. And I think that's really cool for them. But I remember being little and horses just being so big, and I'm a little scared of them.
That's fair. Miss Piggy's original name was going to be Piggy Lee.
Oh, that's cute. I like it. It's cute.
I mean, she's still Piggy. They just got rid of the Lee.
Male ducks have corkscrew-shaped penises.
Yep. Yep, they do.
Do you think that hurts? Do you think it's also corkscrew, but the opposite?
I mean, does it just go straight in, or does it like does the duck twist?
Yeah, do you think it twists?
Like a propeller?
I don't know. It propels itself in.
To protect themselves from their super strong pecks, woodpeckers wrap their tongues around their brain.
I actually knew this one. I don't know how I knew it, but I did
really?
know it.
In my head, I instantly was like, how does that reach?
I don't know, but I did know that one. Have you ever had a woodpecker just like peck your house?
No, but when we lived in our apartment, I did not know turkeys climb trees.
What?
Have you ever seen a turkey sit in a tree?
No.
It is terrifying. We had this giant tree outside our window. We were obviously second floor, and we opened the curtains one day and there were just a bunch of turkeys in this tree. It was like looking at a dinosaur. I was terrified. Mike and I were trying to figure out what the hell was going on because they're huge. Like if you see a turkey run across the yard, you're like, oh, okay. But if you see that in a tree staring at you through the window, it's like a dinosaur.
I'd be a little scared.
It was scary.
I have 2 stories. I have 3 stories. First one, we have turkeys here because we live we're not in the woods, but we have woods behind our house. And I was watching these turkeys playing. They were chasing each other through the yard. But there was one in the middle, and then there were 2 chasing each other around the one in the middle, and the one in the middle was just going in circles, like watching the other ones. It was really funny. Anthony missed it, but I was like, oh my God, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Story number 2, one time I hit a turkey. I was on the way to my friend's house. I was going to visit her while I was on vacation, but in the middle of nowhere. And I like didn't have any service, and I hit this turkey, and I was like, great, this is just fantastic. But everything was fine. It didn't even hurt my car any, so it was all good. And then story number 3, when I was in like elementary school, high school, I don't remember. I was a young teenager, I'm gonna say. We had these weird birds pop up at my parents' house, and they were peacocks, wild peacocks.
That's cool. That's cool.
First, there was like 2 of them, and we're like, this is weird. What are these birds? And then we saw like the feathers one day, and we were like, holy cow, those are peacocks. And then all of a sudden, there was like 20 of them, and they wouldn't leave our house.
Were they real or were they ghosts?
Like, they were real.
Okay.
They were real. We could all see them, so they were real.
Okay. Yeah. It would be even funnier if you could all see them, but your brother couldn't.
Oh, that would be hilarious. We should have.
I feel kind of bad because if he ever listens to this, he's going to be like, why is your friend picking on me? I'm not picking on him. I just think it's really interesting.
He'll love it. I think it would be really funny if we pulled that prank on him and we were like, look at all the peacocks out there. And he's like, I don't see anything. Also, go ahead.
Real quick, you cut this part out just because.
But she said your name. It was so cute. I watched it the way you can see it click in her head where she was like, that's her name. And it clicked. It was so cute. That is the cutest video I have ever seen.
I sent it same time I sent it to you, and I was bawling my eyes out. So I'm like trying to text while I'm crying. And she texted back and she's like, I'm very happy for you. She's like, I am not diminishing this. This is a goal. She's like, but just wait till she says, I love you back. And I was like, oh God. She's like, you're going to melt. She's like, you're melting now. She's like, but the second you get an I love you back, she's like, you're going to promise her whatever she wants. You'll make it happen.
I've never thought about that before, but that has to be so sweet. Oh, can I keep that part in there?
Yes.
Just the fact that she said your name. I'll start it right when I was like, but she said your name. I'll start it there.
Yes. Yeah. Made me very happy. Okay.
What was I going to say?
Oh yeah. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
We've been playing the new Pokemon.
Okay.
It's not new, but it's remade. And apparently I'm colorblind because I can't see the spots for where the berries are. And Anthony made me take a colorblind test. And I did okay, but I didn't do 100%. He's like, all of these are very easy.
Are you colorblind?
I don't think so. I think it's just not very clear. It looks the same as the grass.
Okay.
Yeah. So
my poor friend. My poor colorblind friend.
I know.
You're like, ugh.
Attempting to get kids to eat more vegetables, McDonald's engineer bubblegum flavored broccoli. Unsurprisingly, not a hit.
Yeah.
I would not eat bubblegum flavored broccoli.
No. I don't know where the thought was that bubblegum flavored anything tastes good.
Yeah.
Because the second that they put bubblegum flavoring in medicine and like fake grape flavoring in medicine.
Oh, so bad.
It ruined it for everything because they're using the same flavoring. So like eating something that's bubblegum flavored, it's going to taste like medicine.
When you get sick, do you take liquids or pills?
I take pills because I ain't no little bitch.
Me either. I take the pills. You know what I hate? Cough syrup, NyQuil, all of it. That's all Anthony will take. And I think it tastes disgusting.
It does.
And I guess they were having a conversation and they were like, she takes the pills. And I'm like, I don't understand the cough syrup or like NyQuil, just anything that's a liquid, except for surprisingly liquid Benadryl is not that bad. And I only know that from that one time I had hand, foot, and mouth. And that's what I had to take to literally make my mouth stop hurting. But
Mike does the same thing though. He takes everything. Well, he takes pills, but he prefers the liquid. And I'm like, how?
But they taste so bad.
Yep.
It tastes, and some alcohols taste like straight up cough syrup to me.
Yep.
And the guys will all be like, oh, this tastes great. And I'm like, this tastes like cough syrup. I don't know how you can drink it. I don't know how you can do it.
So Scotland, their national animal is a unicorn.
I love that for them.
I love that. I'm surprised that it's a unicorn in Scotland and not like the Loch Ness Monster. But
yeah,
I'm glad someone's using a unicorn.
I like it. I wonder if unicorns are a thing for them. If a unicorn is your favorite mythical creature, leave it in the comments below. If you sneeze uncontrollably after being suddenly, I have this, Brycelyn.
You have this?
I have this, and so many people don't believe me. If you sneeze uncontrollably after being suddenly exposed to bright lights or intense sunlight, you might have inherited a genetic trait called a CHOO syndrome. And it's real. Anytime I go outside and sometimes it's not even bright. Like I will go out on a rainy day, there's a little bit of sun peeking through. I sneeze 3 times automatically. Like anytime I go outside, I sneeze. If I need to sneeze, I look into the light because it'll like make me sneeze.
My daughter thinks sneezing is hilarious. If you sneeze in front of her, she will like belly laugh.
Oh, that's funny.
She thinks it's funny.
That's so funny.
So anytime she sneezes, she like stops and looks at you and then she'll start laughing.
I like it better that she likes her sneezes. That she thinks specifically her sneezes are funny too. She's like, that's a funny feeling.
Yep. Armadillos almost always give birth to identical quadruplets.
Oh, those poor armadillos.
Yes. Poor armadillos. No, thank you.
Yeah. I don't like this one.
I know.
Trigger warning for a few of these ones coming up have blood and gore and possible cannibalism. So if you don't want to listen to that, maybe skip ahead a couple minutes. So as long as you legally obtain human flesh or limbs, cannibalism is allowed in the Netherlands.
But here's my question. Because how do you legally obtain human flesh or limbs? Because you can't sell a body part.
Maybe there you can.
Maybe. I know.
I really don't want that you can look that up. I don't want that in my search history. But if you live in the Netherlands or have information and you want to leave that in the comments below, I am a little interested. Did you see, maybe I'll cut this out. There was like a guy that got caught selling human bones.
No.
This was a couple months ago. I'll see if I can find the article and send it to you. He like was grave robbing, stole some bones, possibly body parts, I don't remember, and like sold them on Etsy.
No. But, and I don't know if you want to keep this one, and you can if you do. I wouldn't necessarily keep it here, though.
No, we're not putting that in there.
No, don't put that in there.
Terrible and disgusting.
Yeah. So they changed his number. So they were saying that like they had him on like 150 counts, but it ended up going down to like 27 or something like that because a lot of it was done prior to him turning 18, and they can't legally charge him with stuff when he was a minor and as an adult if they want to charge him as an adult. So they're going after him still, but they're not going after any of the counts. He should be charged for all of that. Yes, he should. But yeah, I've been following that. I'm trying to wait. I'm wondering if they're going to do a televised court case because he's 18.
They should.
We should find out when it is, and if they're not going to televise it, we should go and sit in the galley or whatever it's called.
Are you allowed to do that?
I don't see why not. We could pretend to be reporters. We don't even have to pretend.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go.
All right, I'll find out what it is. Go. The short-horned lizard squirts blood out of its eyes at a distance of up to 3 feet to confuse predators. However, the blood contains a chemical that makes dogs, wolves, and coyotes nauseous. Is that noxious or not? Yeah.
Interesting.
That's
nauseous. Yeah, that's nauseous.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, good for them, but that's gross.
Frogs use their eyes to help them swallow their meals. When a frog swallows food, its eyes pull down to the roof of their mouth. It helps them push the food down its throat.
That's kind of funny.
That's weird. It is funny, but I feel like I can feel that in my head, and I don't like that. You know?
Human brains are constantly eating themselves to cleanse the system. Cells will smother and consume smaller cells or molecules in a process called
phagocytosis.
Phagocytosis, I guess. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
That's what it looks like to me.
Okay.
We could be saying that wrong.
Well, I mean, I always make the joke when I'm hungry that my stomach is eating itself, but the fact that human brains are constantly eating themselves is kind of scary.
Tigers don't have striped fur, but skin too. If you were to shave a tiger, you'd find identical striped markings as if they were tattoos.
That's cute.
I like that.
Do you remember when you were a kid, you would eat that tiger gum and the wrapping itself could be like a tattoo on your tongue?
Yes. But the taste lasted for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, and then the taste was gone. A blue whale's heartbeat can be heard from 2 miles away.
Honestly impressive.
Yeah.
But imagine being in the ocean and hearing that.
I was just going to say, I feel like if I was a small fish, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah. Before toilet paper, corn cobs were used as a method of wiping. Ouch. I don't like that. I don't like that. That would hurt. I don't even like the thought of like newspaper.
Yeah. Snails can have up to 1,000 to 12,000 teeth. I don't know what they need those for, but good for them. I hope they have snail dentists.
You think they bite though?
I don't know.
I imagine they can bite you.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of weird because you think about it. If you're eating snails, you're eating like 12,000 teeth because you're not pulling the teeth out. No, I don't like that.
Ugh. While she was a teenager during World War II, Queen Elizabeth II became a junior officer in the Auxiliary Territorial Service and became a trained mechanic. That's pretty cool.
Right?
And kind of badass. Cool. Like, good for her.
The real name of a hashtag is actually an octothorpe.
Interesting. I did not know that.
I wonder how the hashtag name came about.
I don't know. Because it used to be the pound key, you know?
True.
Yeah. Due to the anatomy of their neck, muscles, and spine, pigs cannot look up to the sky. Imagine being a pig and never knowing that there's a whole world above you. That's sad.
That's really sad. I mean, as a short person, there is a whole world up there I know nothing about, but for a pig, that's really sad.
Yeah.
For most people, it's impossible to lick their elbows. Now, how many of you tried it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is one of those things where if you say, well, I feel like even as a kid, like this is one of those things where you say, it's impossible to lick your elbow. And then literally everybody at this moment tries to lick their elbow.
I know I can't do it. A French general gave John Quincy Adams an alligator as a gift, and the gator was kept in one of the White House bathtubs.
No. No, I'm good.
I think that's pretty cool.
It's cool, but why are you keeping it in the house?
Yeah, I guess so.
Ostriches have bigger eyes than they do brains. In fact, among all land animals, ostriches have the biggest eyes.
That's cool.
Like fingerprints, human tongues also have unique tongue prints.
I did not know that.
That's creepy, right?
I mean, I guess it makes sense. It is creepy. But who's ever taken a tongue print?
I think it's creepy.
You know? If you've ever wondered what to call a blob of toothpaste that you squeezed onto your toothbrush, it's called a nurdle.
I think that's cute. I love that word.
It is
Nurdle.
cute. It's fun to say.
Animals process time differently depending on their size. Research suggests that smaller animals like mice and lizards process time faster than larger animals like elephants and giraffes. This is also true about animals that fly and marine predators. Due to fast-paced lifestyles, these animals have visual systems that take in changes at higher and faster rates.
I've been really into time recently and about how like time's different at different places in gravity and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. That also like their lifestyles, them being differently paced, can change the rate in which they're like living their life. That's kind of cool. From 1924 to 1954, stop signs used to be yellow. At the time, red dyes faded after a while, so American Association of State Highway officials went with the yellow dye, which didn't fade. It wasn't until the 1950s that sign markers began using fade-resistant enamel.
I feel like that's weird. I don't know what to do if I saw a yellow one. Even if it said stop, I'd still be confused.
I would be confused, but I want to see one now that I know it's a thing, you know?
If you thought Abraham Lincoln wasn't fascinating enough, the dude is honored in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. He often competed in wrestling matches when he was younger and rarely lost. In 1992, the National Wrestling Hall of Fame formally inducted the former president as an outstanding American. There's even a mural of Lincoln inside the Hall of Fame Museum in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
That's so cool. I did know he was a wrestler, but I didn't know that he was like super good at it.
Yep,
you know,
apparently.
The inside of Kit Kat is made up of small amounts of other Kit Kats, usually ones that cannot be sold. And honestly, from a food cost perspective, good for them.
Yep,
that's
reduce,
super cool.
reuse, recycle.
Yep.
Unfortunately, George Washington died not knowing that dinosaurs existed. The first and former president died in 1799, while the first official description of dinosaurs happened in 1842. That is sad.
Dinosaurs are really cool. What's your favorite dinosaur?
Probably a stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus. I like brontosauruses.
There's a company that travels and they do like, it's like a real life dinosaur encounter, and they're all puppets and animatronics, but it's really cool. It's like walking with the dinosaurs. And I wanted to take my daughter, but the pricing is really high. And I was trying to convince myself like, oh, it's worth it. She's still so little that I'm like, not yet, but
she's not going to remember.
Not yet,
later
but I will
when she's
take
older.
her. Yeah.
Humans don't always see their noses because our brains filter out useless things to better grasp our surroundings. I know that, but if you close one eye, I can always see my nose if I close one eye.
Yep. Now everybody's doing it because I'm sitting here doing it. You're doing it. I'm sure people are going to be doing that too. It's certainly possible to use sign language with an accent. That's cool.
That's funny. That is cool. I want to know how.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
There was once a French king who believed he was made of glass. King Charles IV had a psychiatric disorder called glass delusion and thought that he would shatter if anyone touched him.
That's kind of scary. Like, he must have been living in fear forever.
That's really sad.
You know what's even sadder?
What?
Beer was banned in Iceland until 1989.
I wonder if they had like a prohibition.
I mean, it sounds
People were
like
just
it.
smuggling beer in their basements.
I can't believe anybody would, like, I know obviously the United States, like, there was a prohibition, but why? With everything going on in the world, you're going to take alcohol away?
We're going to look into that. I'm going to do some research on that and see if we can find more information. Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street was originally orange instead of green. In the show's first season, Oscar was orange partly due to some limitations of colorized TV at the time. It wasn't until season 2 that he turned green.
That's cool. I'm obsessed with Jim Henson, so I knew that, but
I did not know that. I didn't know that at all.
If you ever wondered where the term honeymoon came from, it originated in the Middle Ages. When there was a newly married couple, they'd be supplied enough honey wine to last the first month of their marriage.
Aw.
That's really sweet.
That's cute. I like that a lot.
I didn't realize I made a pun there. Didn't, but yeah.
Owls often swallow their food whole.
That's scary. Have you ever seen an owl run?
Yes.
It's terrifying.
Not in real life, but the videos. We knew this guy this one time, and there was something eating his chickens. I think maybe chickens. I don't know. But he ended up setting a trap, and he caught an owl, and it was like hurt. And so he didn't want to let it go because he's like, oh, this owl's going to die if I let him go. So he like took in this owl and cared for him. And then when he was like better, he released him. But I got to go see this owl, and it's so cool. It was the coolest thing ever. And he used to send me pictures of the owl all the time. I'm like, this is awesome. I love this.
I think an owl as a pet would be cool, but watching them run is scary.
I think they are. When he would feed him with a glove. He wouldn't get close to him. I think they are kind of, they'll bite you.
Oh, yeah.
Know? So.
All right, last one. Walt Disney made it a rule for Disneyland not to sell chewing gum so he could keep his park clean. I think that's smart.
I think, honestly, valid rule, because people leave their gum everywhere, and it's disgusting. Right? And it's not hard to throw it away.
There's a lot of things that like they do at Disneyland and Disney World that I think are smart. Like every 5 steps you take, there's a garbage can, but you don't notice them, but there is. And like down their main streets, they have,
and then
like,
when you need one, it's there.
Yeah. And down their main streets, they have like smell-o-vision. So like you smell the food, so that what makes you want it, which very smart. But like their garbage cans also, like they have like a chute, like a funnel system underneath. So like you never see anybody changing a garbage can. Like there are just certain things that they do that I'm like, that was ahead of his time.
That's impressive. I've never been there, but I still want to go someday.
We're going to go. I promise. And that's a wrap on today's dose of weird, wild, and wonderfully useless knowledge. Thanks for tuning in, where oversharing strange facts is basically a public service. You're welcome.
We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Thank you for tuning in to the Bitching Babes. To share your stories with us, please send us an email at tellthebabes@gmail.com. Now, this is your friendly reminder to blow out your candle and hydrate responsibly. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for turning in. Oh, turning. I need to fix that.
I kind of want to keep that in, though.
Thanks for turning in. Well, there you go for a blooper.
I'm going to put that. I might actually put that at the end because I know how to do that now.
You can do that.
That's great.